Friday, and welcome into Nearing Nerdvana. The crew and I are extremely excited because we have a member of the Black Comic Lords here with us tonight to drop all of her knowledge. Tamiko, thank you for being here. How are you?
All is well.
Yeah. It's gonna be a fun show. You're like our expert panelist tonight.
Yes. We should have her in the middle. She have in the middle because you're tonight. It's about you.
Move them however you want to. But yes, thank you for being here. Cynthia, if you guys were here on Tuesday as like our newest member of the crew, thank you for coming back. We didn't scare her away.
Yay!
And I guess Joe, you look different, bud.
Hey, thank you, Laura. As do you.
Thank you, Joe. We look different, but in a good way.
We're changing. We're getting older.
Oh God,
I'm getting older.
I'm getting
I'm just playing.
Dude, my teenager gets her permit this week. She's gonna be driving this week.
Good luck with that.
Watch out, roads.
Let me tell you. So my stepson, when he turned 18, I had just bought my wife a new car, and he calls me on a Saturday night at like 1 o'clock in the morning crying.
Oh
God.
God.
He goes, I'm gonna get in trouble. Like, this new car was like, one of the tires was stuck in this big pothole. He had backed out of his buddy's driveway, and the tire got stuck in a big, oh my God. Had to call a wrecker and everything. He was like, I'm never gonna be able to use a car. Yeah.
That's a normal accident. It could happen to anybody. It's not like he was being reckless.
Yeah, he should be able to steal a car anytime he wants to, you know?
Oh.
I agree. Look at this. Everybody's loving Tamiko. Yeah. Joe, my first week driving, I hit a coyote.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That sounds like not traumatizing, but it is, because like I pulled off to the side of the road and there were like chunks of fur stuck in my.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I just hate driving because, like, where I'm from right here, like, half of the people don't have insurance. So it's like
Where are you?
What the heck? He's in Texas.
Like, let me tell you, you know, us Hispanics, we don't like paying for insurance, man. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Lucy knows. Like, if you get in a car wreck with a Hispanic, there's a 50% chance we ain't got insurance.
My mom thinks it's a hassle. No, I have always been scared, and like, and you know, Final Destination traumatized me. So now I'm like driving, like, gotta look everywhere, like slow down. Yeah, I want to knock on wood. I think I'm a good driver.
That's our first tangent of the show, guys, and we just started. So tonight we are covering a very important character. We are covering Static. Tamiko is an expert here, so we wanted to bring her onto the panel, and Cynthia, Joe, Lucy, and I will kind of just be chiming in as we go. So let's kick it off. Let's see if you guys are in the order. Yeah, you're in the order I want you. Perfect. All right, Tamiko, we're going to start with you. I don't even know how to present this question, but Static, what was your first introduction to him? What does he mean to you?
My first introduction to Static was, I'll preface this by saying I was a long-time comic book reader. I started reading comic books at 12 years old. So without knowing about it, I was searching for people in the comics who looked like me. So this was a really big deal in '93 when Milestone came out, because this is the first time where you actually, people like myself actually saw characters who looked like me, who resembled us. And we didn't realize just how important that was back then, but looking back, it was very, very important. Now with Milestone, Static was the fourth comic that they released from their comic line. It was Hardware, Blood Syndicate, Icon, and then Static. Because they realized that, okay, we have our adult superheroes. We kind of needed a teenage superhero. We kind of needed our own Peter Parker. So that's how Virgil Hawkins became Static.
Wow. That's awesome. And like you say, like, you don't know like how important that is, to see somebody that it represents you. I remember, like, well, for me, like, I didn't get to comics till like not so, like, I mean, the last 5-7 years or so, but seeing like Salma Hayek, that she's Mexican, like, and I'm like getting so excited because it's in the English movie. um so I know, I guess that feeling, knowing that it's like there are you people, like, and she's like, yes, go go Salma Hayek. Like that's pretty
I
cool.
think that's very neat. Joe, what about you? What was your first exposure to Static? Do you have any of his comics? Have you read any of them?
Oh yeah. So I worked in a comic shop for a long time. It was my uncle's shop, and I remember when I this book was ordered with the poly bag, not the poly bag, and there was a lot of heat on this book. And then
Ah,
yeah,
has it? She has it. Nice.
and then slowly, like it's with the comic book industry, just going like almost bankrupt. It just kind of like it went down with comic books. And seeing the documentary, um I saw it probably about 2 months ago around Milestone Comics. It sort of made sense, as far as what happened. I just always struck it as well, because because comics were just kind of dying off in the 90s or whatever. But it
Exactly.
made sense now as far as what happened with the Milestone creators and what happened with this book.
Yeah,
Wow.
Tamiko and I were talking about that before we went live, because we were talking about how we have to stress that point. Point being what, Tamiko?
The point being that it isn't just because it was a Black person in front of it that kind of startled the demise of Milestone. We'll blame DC. We're pretty much blaming DC for it because they were not prepared for the popularity of it. They weren't prepared to go toe to toe with Dwayne McDuffie. They weren't prepared really for, how popular that people of color comics could actually be. So Milestone didn't die on its own or because of its characters.
There you go. Cynthia, you want to add to that?
Sorry. Well, Static is new to me. My introduction to him was this week actually. It's only because I've mostly a horror chick, but this character is a strong character. Like even with the issues that I have read, you can see his representation, and it's phenomenal. I've been like glued to it since I started reading, and he's a really strong character for sure. Really looking forward to seeing where the rest of it goes. I haven't completed the series that I started, but I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah. And well, same for me, like this week, knowing that we were gonna have Tamiko, I'm like, I need to learn it, and I just kind of like get deep diving into more and wanting to find out more and more, like reading the comic, like Cindy was saying, and like I was like, oh, I'm gonna read one right now and read the rest later, like with time. Heck no, I was like, okay, I need to know what happens next. It's just so like Cindy said, it's just so good. It's so good, and like it just like the storyline and me like not asking questions too, like because I asked one of my friends, Chris, that I was like, which one do you recommend for me to start reading, like where he's like, oh, with the return, Milestone Return, you should read that one. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, I feel like I'm missing something, like I need to read more. I'm like looking up more stuff, and I just such a great character. I really like it.
Yeah, guys, if you are just joining, we are covering Static, and we kind of just started the show off letting you guys know that in 1993, Milestone became an imprint of DC, and their purpose for the African American creators behind this title was to rectify an underrepresentation of minorities in mainstream comics. Now, as Tamiko so beautifully said, Dwayne McDuffie was not somebody to be messed with, and he's an incredible writer. If you're not familiar with his stuff, we're going to rectify that tonight. So again, Cynthia, a lot of people are in the same boat. Nearing Nirvana is about learning, expanding what we know, and let's just dive right into it. Okay, Tamiko. I'm gonna test you here. I used to be a teacher, so this is me quizzing you. Virgil Hawkins was named after who?
He was named after a scientist, I believe. Oh my goodness. That's terrible.
I know, I'm quizzing you. Does anybody on the panel know?
No idea. No. Want to know?
Inquiring minds.
Tamiko's gonna be like, shit, I knew this after I tell her.
Okay, he was named after Virgil Hawkins. Okay, a black man who was denied entry to the University of Florida Law School.
How
There you
cool
go.
is that? So people
That's
that are like,
awesome.
oh, comic books aren't political. Comic books aren't meant to be like making a statement about the times. Yeah, they are. They're 100% political. His character literally was named after somebody who, again, was denied
That's crazy. And you know what? I'm like, Virgil, I like that name. I was like, it's so strong. I thought it was like a strong name, so then there you go.
All right, I'm gonna get Tamiko before the show's over. I'm gonna get her. It's happening. All right, so the name Static, aka Virgil Hawkins, that's what we were just talking about, named after a real life person that was denied entry in 1949 to the University of Florida. The skills. Tamiko, why don't you cover skills?
Okay. Static skills, he's electromagnetic generation and manipulation. He's able to use electromagnetic spectrum. He's able to manipulate it. He's able to use it to create a flying disc because, he can't fly. So he uses his powers to generate a disc to propel him around. Okay. That's also part of the electromagnetic. I can speak. Okay. So also, let's see here, mental resistance. Okay, that was a little different. But he is very intelligent. He's able to use his intelligence about how to create obstacles and create things with his powers. So that's pretty much the basic skill set.
So normally we include stats, but in this case, there weren't any just like standard stats. There was one card that sort of had it, but that was for a Injustice storyline card game. So Black Comic Lords is in the house. How would you rank him? 1 to 7, where 7 is like Superman, dark side level strength. And for fighting ability, you have Lady Shiva, Black Canary, Big Barda. For intelligence, Batman, Lex Luthor. Where would you guys rank him? Is he kind of in the middle?
Kind of in the middle, because again, he's a young teenage boy. So he got his powers from the Big Bang, and he really at first didn't know what to do with himself. But he gradually taught himself how to generate force fields and how to fly and how to do other things and how to defend himself against people. So I would give him a really good high 6.
I want to know real quick.
Really good.
Red Hood, do you have any static books behind you right now?
No, I got them in boxes. I would have to go through here and but I have them bagged and I've got a few.
What's the girl behind you? What's the redhead?
Which one?
Oh, you know what it is.
I can't tell what that is. What is it?
This?
Yes.
Oh, it's a comic box with J. Scott Campbell cover from Renew Your Vows. It's one of my favorite covers.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that he's a really, really smart boy. And like I started watching the cartoon, like I was telling you guys earlier, and I like how he is helping somebody to study. So I'm like, they know he's a smart kid in the school. So imagine him like trying to expand more of his knowledge of his powers and stuff like that. So I'm sure he's gonna go and deep dive it and find out everything he can do. So he's such a smart kid.
Well, he's a nerd. He gets bullied for that. So that there's another parallel between him and Peter Parker.
No.
Yeah.
Static was pretty much DC's answer to Peter Parker. So he was pretty much the closest thing that they could do without actually copying him completely. And also, let me shout out Lord of Brooklyn. I see you. It's okay.
Wait, do you know Lord of Brooklyn?
Yeah, he hangs out at the Black Comic Lords lives as well.
He busts my balls every single show I have.
He busts my balls too, Laura.
Right? He's a ball buster. He comes into shows and just busts balls.
We just smile and wave at Lord of Brooklyn.
He's look at him.
Black Comic Lords and H&H.
Yes, you see him.
H&H won my Damned book last week when we were covering Libramejo. All right, so let's keep going here. Let's talk a little bit about the animated series. Tamiko, this came out in 2000 till 2004, right? A total of 4 seasons. I watched a little bit to kind of prep. Pure transparency here. I'd never seen the show, but I watched a little bit of it. And from the clips that I did see, it's pretty incredible some of the issues, the real world issues that this show was tackling. This was on WB Kids, and they taught about racism, bullying, gang violence, gun violence. They talk about all these really powerful topics, and you're not expecting it from a cartoon, or an animation, but it draws in so many different realms of viewers. Let's go down the line, starting with Tamiko.
Well, this is how most people were introduced. Because if you're not a comic book head, you wouldn't have never known about Static. And this basically takes his storylines from the comics and then they put them right into the animation. And this is still the brainchild of Dwayne McDuffie and Dennis Cowan, who did the original art on the series. So this basically is just introduced to a younger generation. People introducing Static to people who might not have even picked up a comic book, never knew that he was in a comic book. So this is generally how, if I introduce people to Static, like if you don't want to read, you can definitely see the cartoon animated series.
All right, Joe.
I would say, Tamiko, have you seen the documentary on Milestone?
Yes, I have.
Is that not phenomenal? Like, if people have a chance, go. I think it's on HBO Max right now.
Yes.
And it's a documentary on Milestone Comics with McDuffie and just one thing they really didn't touch on was 1992, 93, like it was such a turbulent time, right? And people, some of the people listening probably were just like babies when the hip hop was starting to really blow up, and I think this got away from DC. I think things were happening too fast, and I don't think they liked it. You know what I mean? Because it touched something I don't think they were ready to speak to it in that way, and if Static were to have come on right now, I think it I don't know if it would hit the way it did in it because of the pushback that it got. It's almost like legendary now, if that makes sense. And we have Miles Morales now, as kind of what Static, but it'll never hit the way Static hit back then, if that makes sense.
Because of the climate, the social climate.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you look at, I don't know if you've had if you read a Miles Morales book, it's really not good. It's like they don't know how to write Miles Morales. The writers for Static, they knew how to write Static because they lived it. And they were living in the time. Go pick up a Miles book and open it up and see if you feel like you're in like 2023 or 22. Like you pick up a static book, you knew you were in the 90s, if that makes sense.
Tamiko?
Well, it's all boils down to the people writing, because Marvel and DC, they don't have many of us in their editors' halls or in their writing room. So Milestone was ahead of their time. Dwayne McDuffie and everyone was ahead of their time. And nobody really knew how to deal, because our hobby was always gate kept to a certain degree. And now, every time someone sees something that's different from themselves, they call it woke. And I can't stand that word, because then that applies, okay, well, you were sleeping. And now you wake up to see this world where there's other people besides you. But that's not how they use it. So they kind of use it as kind of I want to say slur, to go against diversity. Because I mean, this world is huge. You'll find many people of many different backgrounds. So it's time that our hobby starts reflecting all the backgrounds of everybody in this world.
Yeah, was well said. Like Mike Cloud, he said, we're spitting some knowledge. Yes, that is so true. And yeah, like I wish, like I would have known more about Static Shock back in the day. Like I wish, like I would have been able to get into comics and seeing it's just a whole nother world. Like the comic book side.
I
Cynthia, what
wonder
do you
if
think?
I wonder if DC at the time, and like I'm going to be I'm going to cause some stir it up like I
It's all
always
right.
do.
These conversations have to
So
be had.
no, I
should
wonder
do
if DC was afraid that Static Shock was taking away market share from Superman. I mean, I'll just say it right there, and I don't know if they could handle that. Like, hey, wait a minute, these books are selling more than Superman. Like, so I don't know. Because you got to remember, wasn't it right around this time when they killed off Superman? So I wonder if that played a factor. I have to do some more research on that, and then I'll talk some more shit. But I think from a creative standpoint, like, why didn't DC help out Milestone more? They were a part of they were in that umbrella. So
Joe, to speak to your point a little bit, from what I understand, the comics were doing really well. They were well received. There was that attention there that they could have capitalized on. I think that when they eventually got rid of the comic book and the animated series, they said that it was merchandise sales were too low. It sounds like bullshit, right?
Oh yeah, because they didn't make merchandise. They didn't have the action figures or the T-shirts or the hats or anything like that. So I've always thought that DC dropped the ball, because this could have been very lucrative.
But maybe it'll come back. Maybe Michael B.
back.
Jordan can bring this back. Like, maybe.
Well, we still have the season 1. It's not a reboot. It's just a reimagining for the new people today. So we still have Milestone today.
See, Guy McLeod goes, I know why. He says they tell you in the documentary why, Joe, right? I'm suggesting a different reason why, that I kind of felt like, but they're not saying it, if that makes sense.
Cynthia, you want to add to this? She's off. No.
I'm just absorbing it. But yeah, like, I mean, I agree with everyone on, like, representation matters no matter what group you belong to. Representation needs to be there for every group. You can't just focus on one, even though majority has been focused on. You got to hit the other groups. They need to be represented too. You've got little kids out there looking for role models, looking for, something they can relate to. So that needs to be explored. That needs to be grown upon. Like, there's so much opportunity out there to be had. Like, let's get more creative, because I've noticed in like a lot of the newer readings and stuff, like creativity. Why have we lost creativity? Where is it? Somebody find it, please. So yeah, like Static is he needs to be brought back. Like, revamp him like tremendously. I loved reading this. And that's coming a lot for me because I typically don't favor like superhero stories. I'm the odd one in the bunch. I do tend to favor like villain stories, but this guy, I really loved this story. Like, I kept reading it. And I can't wait to see what happens. So yeah, like the representation in this book, and it's not just, some of the like common problem areas we have right now. It's also like visits like family morals and friendship morals and stuff like that. So there's a lot to learn through this, even though it's a comic,
Yeah.
So I really enjoy it.
Well said, Cynthia. Like, dang, I was going to say something that I completely forgot, but I just like what you were saying, and right, that's what I was going to say. I just realized that I'm kind of the same. I don't pick up a lot of especially now, I don't pick up a lot of superhero comic books. Like, if even though Wonder Woman is like my favorite and everything,
Right.
I kind of drop that too. Like, I usually go more for the independent comics that it is more diverse, and then it's more it hits every little target that you want to know about. I feel that I am more like, I'm gonna say, like, more ignorant to a lot of cultures and a lot of things, and I ask questions, and I'm always like trying to find out, and like, asking, and I like, I want to learn, I want to know, like, I want to know,
Right.
like, so yeah, like you said, representation matters, because that's
Right.
probably like a one way to learn, through comic books. And yeah, like reading this one, I was just like, he's badass. I like him. He's still a kid. It's showing him how he's still a kid. I loved how they show like the one. Well, I'll get back when we talked about my pick, but I just, the show, the only thing about the show that I didn't liked, it was that his mom was not there.
Well,
Like,
they did that on purpose, though. They wanted to
yeah,
focus more
they
on the
want to focus.
father-son
Yeah,
relationship.
I get that. I guess I get it. I get that, but and I like, the dad. I really like the dad and the sister too. Like, it's just like she's just like how I am with my siblings. I really like that you can show like the family, I guess, perspective on that, and from reading to the comic book, obviously we're gonna trying to like, it's like, oh, I miss the mom, but I understand why they didn't. But yeah.
Well, there you go. Let's kick off the list. Guys, there's almost 40 of you hanging here with us tonight. We are covering Static. We have Tamiko from Black Comic Lords here with us tonight. Cynthia is filling in for us because she's amazing. And we got our wonderful, amazing Joe, who might be doing a podcast here soon.
Over.
But let's kick off our list. All right, Tamiko, you take the lead here. Why did I include Icon?
Okay. Icon has the preview to Static #1 in the back there. If you are interested in getting the very first appearance, because every place else, Static's first appearance is Static #1. But if you really want to get deep into it, the preview to Static #1 is actually in Icon #1.
Now, Icon obviously was one of the properties or one of the titles that Milestone did before we saw Static come through. But I mean, I don't know. This has been a debate forever if previews even count. The market
Previews count.
The market's saying it's $12 for a very fine and a 9.8 going for about $75. On the bottom there, you'll see the standard edition, because the main book here is the collector's, and then the standard edition newsstand. Same deal though. They're going for about under $20 easily. Joe, why do you think that counts?
I used to find these in dollar bins.
Yeah.
Oh
Me too.
yeah. So like, why do I think previews count? In my opinion, it's the first time you see the character, right? So like that becomes its rookie card. You know, that's the way I've always seen it, you know, but you know, people get like cameo, first full appearance, you know, it is just like it's all what the collector believes, right? The collector's going to want to have every appearance of their favorite character. And it, you know, it's, but from a hobby perspective, it's whatever the community decides. It's always
What the
been that
market
way.
decides.
A
Cynthia?
comic is only worth what you're willing to pay for it.
That's very true. That's a whole Hulk discussion, but that's very true. Cynthia, what do you think?
Well, yeah, previews are important. I have a couple for the Killing Joke. Because yeah, so previews, they're just as collectible as your other comics. Especially for first appearances and stuff like that. Because a lot of times some of the first appearances do appear in the previews versus the comic. So yeah, I haven't seen this one. Like I said, still new to Static. So yeah, I'll have to poke around and see if I can find this one.
Poke around. This one's worth picking up, I think. Lucy?
No, this is cool. Like now that I'm getting to know more of these characters, I see like I never seen this character, and I see the girl right there in the corner. I want to know more about her. I want to know about her. You know, like I want to know, like what's her story, what's her power. Like even the guy, he looks so cool. It's so strong. I want to know. And then like you guys said, yeah, like you know, if it's like a little preview.
It's a
And
three-page
if you
sneak peek. 3 pages.
and then
Okay?
if you're like what is it? How do you call them? Like if they want to complete all like
Yes.
whatever he's in, then you need to
To
pick
be
this
a
up.
completist.
A completist. There you go. Yes.
And
But
fun fact,
uh-huh.
all 4 of these had the poly bag.
Oh.
Nice.
Where you get the comic, you get 4 panels of a mural, you get an exclusive poster and a trading card with all of these.
Nice.
So these are like, you know, my second copies because I got 1 copy just to open them up and to put all that together.
Right?
So I haven't gotten around to that yet because I'm still waiting on my comic frames. But that's going to be one of those things that I'm definitely going to show off once I put everything together.
Oh, I love that.
Awesome.
All right, so we're talking $12, guys. If you're just joining, there's almost 50 of you now. We were talking Static, and we have Tamika from Black Comic Lords in the house, Red Hood Comic, Cynthia at Lady International _International, and then, of course, Lucy is here with us. Let's jump into it. Tamiko, this was your pick, and I understand why you included this, but why don't you tell people what this is and why it's important?
Okay, this is the first full appearance of Static. This is his introduction into the Milestone universe. This comic, of course, as I showed you the other 3, this pretty much was the order of introduction. Hardware, Blood Syndicate, Icon, then Static. So these are all connected in the same universe. These are all 4 books are connected in the same universe. And fun fact about this one too, this one would be the most expensive of those 4 number 1s because this one was the hardest for me to get. And I mean, I hunted long and hunted hard for this. So
the platinum, right? The platinum.
Oh, well, the platinum is a slow print run. So if you get one of those, that's red money. That's what I call red money. So Static is the most popular of the 4 beginning number 1s in the Milestone. So that's why you saw Icon number 1 was $12. This one is $160. And it was even higher.
Oh man. Yeah.
It was even higher at one point. So this is the ones that's hard to get because out of all of my original Milestone collection, I have not finished collecting all of the Statics.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
So he was the most popular out of all four.
Hmm.
Damn. I feel really stupid because I had these and I sold them.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I still have a few.
no, no,
So.
even worse. I saw I saw the one with the blue and the poly bag like on the dollar bin, and I'm like, I'm so like I get so mad at myself because I saw it and I was like, this looks cool. I like that it's in the poly bag. That is it. I thought it was pretty cool, and I was like, I'm gonna get it. Like I already had a bunch of books, and that was like the last one that I kind of picked up, and I was like, oh, this looks pretty cool. I was kind of interested because I really like the cover. I'm like, I like how he looks. I was like, okay, next time I come back, I'll grab it. Then next time I went back, it was when like the whole news broke, and then this one started going up like super high and all this. And when I went back, obviously it was gone. I was like, damn it, it was only $1. I should have just grabbed it. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so mad. I couldn't. I didn't. I knew that cover. I'm like, I knew there was something about this. Like it called to me, and I was just like, okay, I'll pick you up next time.
All right. Question for the panel here. This is a rumor. It hasn't been confirmed yet. Have you guys all seen Stranger Things?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We all love Lucas, right? Lucas is like
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
Supposedly, Caleb McLaughlin, who is the character he plays, or is the actor that plays Lucas, is going to play Static. Supposedly.
In the
How do we
live
feel-
action?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
It's a rumor, though, just
Hmm.
to be clear. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but I could see that.
He's such
Better
a great
than
actor.
what was that? I don't like Jaden Smith. I think that was the other one that people were
Oh
like,
hell no, man.
I don't want Jaden Smith. I think that Lucas is so much better than Jaden Smith, and I think it would fit better. But what do you guys think?
Well, go ahead, Tamiko. You're first.
Well, I'm kind of a purist. I mean, I don't really try to cast real life people in things like this because I want to have the unknown come to me, and then I want to be either pleasantly surprised or totally repelled. One of those two things would have to happen. So I really don't. I keep my expectations to the floor. I don't look at trailers. I don't do anything. Just let me know when it comes out, and then I will consume at that point.
Oh my god, I'm the same way. I'm
Yep.
the same way. I
Yep.
just watched Black Panther like yesterday, Wakanda Forever, and I don't know how, but I was able to avoid all that till now that it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, I'm sure it was real hard because
Oh.
my fellow Black comic lords was talking about it, and I said, well, guess what? I'm not going to be on that show because I'm going to wait.
Yes.
I don't want to be colored by anything. I want to experience
Oh
it.
man. By the way, I loved it. It was amazing. It was really good. It was just I cry a few times.
Yeah.
All
You
right,
will.
Joe, what about you? How do you feel about Lucas being Static?
Well, I'm kind of like, well, if he beats out, like if you know, in a room full of up and coming actors and he beats them out, yeah, I want the best person to get the role. I don't want him because like he's trending because he came on a great show like Stranger Things, and so automatically he gets the job. I think it needs to be somebody brand new, up and coming, like that people really. He's an actor, but they haven't seen much from him, and honestly, if this
Well,
movie,
Lucas, you haven't. Only Stranger Things, right?
yeah,
That's
but he's got a huge following. Like, I'm saying, like, if they made a Static movie like to come out like this summer, it would be like big. It would be huge if they have a good story around it. But I think like people want to see something right now, like
Yeah.
live action, like not animated, live action. And so Michael B. Jordan, and that's what put a lot of heat on this too, was Michael B. Jordan, like being didn't he as a producer, right? It was a producer, right? Not
Yeah.
not a director, right? Because
Correct.
Michael B. Jordan's directing now, so I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I haven't heard much after that though. There was a article in Bleeding Cool not too long ago saying that it's still on, that they are like
I
like
love
working
Bleeding
on it,
Cool.
and I don't know what that means. Maybe writing the script or.
Mhm.
But
Bleeding Cool is so
I
bloody
would
cool.
bring in the people that first wrote. I would bring in everybody, and like round table, and get the from the source, the people that
Oh,
wrote the source material to get it right. You know.
Joe, Sam just told me that he's gonna direct. He already redirected Creed 3.
Oh
So
yeah,
so if you like it,
I'm already
it's gonna be
there,
really
bro.
good. Oh, you're
I'm
ready there
already
for
there for Creed 3. You got Killmonger versus Kang.
that?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
That movie's gonna be awesome.
yeah, Sam is pretty excited for that one. So
Guys,
it's his you.
really quickly, there's there's over 50 of you here hanging with us. We are talking Static. I forgot at the beginning of the show, shout out to Cover Price. They are our sponsors. So all of the data that you see on the slides tonight was provided by them. Check them out. And Bird City Comics, sponsored retailer. We launched Ice Cream Man 35, but it's sold out. So hopefully you are subbed to the text line so you were notified when it went live. You had time if you were subbed.
Not only that, download the app. So that way,
and that too.
you guys download the app. Like you can save,
Yes.
like obviously your payment information and everything there, so you can just right away check out and you don't miss out. Since all these covers are like hot and everything, like they will sell out. And
Yes.
if you have it
Thank
there,
you.
just click and boom, you're done.
Use the app. Download the app. That too. All right. So Joe, this pick is yours. Why did you choose this?
So Brian McClay turned me on to this book. So when I first met Brian in Baltimore, like because he had brought it up in a couple of podcasts before, that this was such a hard book to find. It was later on in the what issue was this, number 40 something? Is it 46? What is that? I can't see it.
Sorry, it's 40.
40. Okay, so it's so late in the print run, and it had the Lost Boys. They were from Queens, right? The Lost Boys, I think. So this was just I don't know what the Comic-Con said the print count was, but man, it's expensive. Look at that. In a 9.2, $175. So when I met McClay, we walked into the Comic-Con, and he saw it through the corner of his eye, like barely walking into the show. He goes, "Oh, I need that book."
So hard to find this. This is like
It's very hard to
incredibly
find
rare.
this, but this book is like getting borderline Ghost. Like,
It already is a ghost.
well, no,
Yeah.
like Ghost is like, if you like, I've seen it,
So this
I've
one-
never seen this.
Yeah, this is the one that McClay was talking about.
So if you
and-
see this out there, you better scoop it
Yeah.
up.
What is it? Sorry, I was like trying to type what homage it is to.
It's not a homage. It's
Okay.
a rendering of the Lost Boys. They were a hip hop
Okay.
group from
Hip-hop.
Queens.
Oh,
Queens, New York.
homage covers.
oh, and I was thinking like Lost Boys.
You
the
could
movie.
genuinely say this is the first hip hop cover on a comic.
And I was just
Right?
gonna talk. I was gonna say that like we want to do another hip hop, and then I was thinking more like this, not just the DC Marvel thing, because I'm sure there's more way before that.
I don't know.
And then
like this may be the first.
no, I mean no, before the ones that came out a few years ago, all the
Oh,
Marvel
gotcha.
line. That's what I mean. Like there's more like older ones, that like that's the hip hop show that I'm kind of picturing in my head that we want to do. So, we did last week one for
Oh,
of
Aaron's
course
got a copy.
Aaron.
Aaron's
Of
got
course,
he
Aaron
has
has a
one.
copy though. For him.
So like I want to do one with but this is pretty cool. I like this. See, there's just so
and
much more.
it's just like you look at it, the colors, like the purple in the background and everything, just good choice of colors. And as books get older and when they first come out, you're all like, eh. And then you look at it like 3 or 4 years later or 10 years later or whatnot, you're like, it's like your palette for art changes, and you're just like, wow,
That's
that was
true.
a great book.
That's freaking true. Your palette changes. I like that.
You see, we can skip the hip hop covers. They'll come for us.
Girls, anything to add to this one?
To me, this one kind of gives like a nostalgia vibe, just because you look at this book and you feel the 90s. Like this is definitely straight up 90s hip hop. But yeah, this is cool. Like Red Hood was saying, I love that purple and pink on the back, and it just kind of make the guys pop out there. So yeah, this is nice.
I know. I love that. Well, obviously, purple's my favorite color. If you didn't know, so I love this. And now when I see purple covers, I'm like, I want it. So maybe, hopefully, one day I can just come, just grab this, because I know this will definitely get my attention if I didn't know about it, because I'll be like, oh, this is cool. Like if I didn't know it was a hip hop, it kind of looked like a like a hip hop cover, it's pretty cool, and I like the static and the cover in the bottom. That's awesome.
Solid pick to Joe on this one, guys. Very solid pick. I like that. And shout out to Brian McClay. He already gave you some love there, but yeah, bringing this to his attention. All right, next up, Static Shock #1, Rebirth of the Cool. Tamika, why is this one important?
This one was created directly after the Milestone breakdown, and pretty much after, I want to say after I don't think it is after the cartoon, but this here is
it was
where
2001, so a little bit after.
So Virgil here is now, he's in a new place, and he's now hiding the fact that he was static. So now he's trying to, keep a low profile. He's trying to figure out how things go. And also with this, very low print runs. So it's very, very hard to get these in floppy version, and it's hard to get them as a trade paperback because they did not make many of these. So these definitely are rent money. And I think this is a 4-issue miniseries.
That's right. And number 1 was under 8,000 copies. And then issue 2 there was under 7,000 copies. So put that.
Oh my God, that's very little. What the hell?
Very, very low. And this again was after a 4-year hiatus of this character being in comic books. And yeah, so you can kind of see the raws going for the ones for about $100. A 9.8, 600 though, because again, you got a black cover, first of all, which makes it like a spine tick magnet. And this came out in 2001, and there were so little of them. So it's like the trifecta of everything that makes the book go up. What do you think, Joe?
Oh, I agree. I love the reflection in the sunglasses. It's badass. It's I don't have this book, and now I'm looking at I kind of want to go and buy one now on eBay right now. So
are there any on eBay? I don't even know.
I'm gonna find one.
dig.
I'm a look.
Yes.
Cynthia, you're up.
Yeah, this cover's pretty cool. Like anytime you see somebody peer over their glasses, they mean business. So yeah, heck yeah, this is cool. I like this.
You gotta show us. You're wearing glasses. Peer over them. Ooh,
Right?
You mean business. Hey. She meant business just there. Okay.
Now I wonder, if this was such a popular character, why it only print so little? Why? Can you guys answer me?
DC dropping the ball again, and more likely really wanting to preserve the Trinity.
See, that's what I'm saying, right?
Batman, Superman,
Wonder Woman.
That's right. They don't want any. They didn't want Static Shock outselling any of their corporate characters. Let's keep it real. Corporate characters.
Oh, that makes me mad. What the hell?
How do you think I feel about Robbie Reyes? They he was supposed to have be a part of the MCU, and they took old Robbie out of there. And then you talk representation. He's the only Hispanic character that I liked in a comic book, man.
Dang. Oh, so wait, they can't. Sorry to change it. So he's not coming out anymore?
No, they haven't done anything with him yet, man.
They're supposed to come out, right? Laura, sorry.
Isn't there a rumor about that?
There was, but he was supposed to come out on Hulu, and then they nixed it. He did well on that. What was the show? Agents of Shield. Kind of like somebody cool, like instead of riding a motorcycle, he drove a car, and he was from East LA, and was pretty cool. And they said, nah, we ain't gonna do anything with him.
Tamika, what's McDuffie doing nowadays?
Dwayne McDuffie?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's so
He passed away quite some
I
time
did
ago.
not know that, so
Mhm.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
So Dwayne's
So,
gone. Who
yeah,
else did we
Dwayne is
have?
gone. So,
We had
but we still have Dennis Cowan, Michael
Dennis.
Davis, Derek Dingle, Reginald Hudlin. Christopher Priest was also involved in the beginnings of Milestone as well. So we still have all the others, but Dwayne is gone.
When did Dwayne die?
Oh,
Sorry, I'm asking too much. I didn't know that, and so it's like learning.
yeah. Let's see, because Dwayne not only did he do like Milestone comics, he also did Justice League. He wrote a lot, Damage Control. So this was not Dwayne McDuffie's only ride.
Oh, I did see that he did a lot of other
Mhm.
comics, and now that I kind of want to read it,
Well,
because
how
he
old
was.
was he when he was doing these things
Oh,
though? Like
okay.
was he in his 50s? 2011. So we're talking
He
like
died in
10
2011. Yes.
a little over 10 years
2000,
ago.
yes.
Hmm.
Okay.
So, I mean, he
Yeah.
was pretty much. I would say 30s, 40s, because I mean he was
Oh,
doing
49.
a lot.
He's
Wow.
What
Yeah.
happened?
so
He died at
young.
49.
So young. Oh, Jesus.
Mhm. Yeah. He got ill and passed away.
Oh, so sad.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah.
Well, even more reason to go back and kind of honor that legacy that he left with this character. But let's keep cruising. Tamiko, again, I'm gonna let you take the lead here.
Mhm.
Why did we include this one?
Okay. Jeff Johns, who was writing Teen Titans, he wanted to include Static on the team that he was writing for his series at the time. But DC was hemming and hawing and hemming and hawing. And every time he requested it, DC would say, not yet, not yet, no. So after a while, when they finally relented, because he wanted them ever since he started doing volume 3 of Teen Titans. So when they finally relented, he decided to reintroduce Static to the DC continuity in this miniseries of Terror Titans that was focused around Deathstroke's daughter, Rose. She was she was so-called a part of the Teen Titans, but they really weren't quite feeling her because she was an assassin. So she decided to go into this and they found other teen heroes who were taken away, spirited away, and they was in this underground fighting ring. So this is where Static was reintroduced as one of those teens who was taken away and was discovered in the fighting ring.
And we're talking after 8 years,
Yes.
roughly.
Mm-hmm.
This is finally when, so not yet, not yet, not yet, for that long.
That's just. Ugh.
They just
Come on.
didn't want to let Jeff have it.
Joe?
Well, I mean, does it surprise you like they didn't want to pay the real creator of Batman his what granddaughter her they didn't want to pay her. She had to get a copyright lawyer because Bob Kane wasn't the sole creator of Batman, right? So, like this is the type of company they are, so like does it surprise you it took so long for Static to come back and to be included in DC continuity? I mean, it's just
Yeah, I got nothing.
it's the politics of it all, and it's just like it really you shouldn't put it in something that is about art. It's about like storytelling. It's about sharing cultures and things like that. You should leave the politics out of it, honestly.
Cynthia, Lucy, anything to add?
Go ahead, Cynthia.
I mean, just like listening to what all you guys have tossed at me tonight, like it's really sounding like Static was a suppressed character, And
Absolutely, he was. That's what I've been trying to say this whole thing.
like,
You know,
yeah, like
Sure.
what the heck? I
Mhm.
mean, he's a great character, and why suppress something great unless you're afraid of it, you know? That's the only time you silence something is if you're afraid of its potential.
Mhm.
So yeah, like this guy's got potential to be a big character. Let him be a big character. What the heck? He deserves it.
Lucy,
But
anything
yeah.
to add?
Oh,
Wow.
Romy's trying to tell me that he lost his little bean. He's like,
Aw.
Mom, I lost my bean. Sorry. But yeah, that is true. And then Joe, you should have said it. Just say it, and let us know that he is. And that's, I feel, but I also feel that
We're getting to
now
this, guy. We're getting to this. I promise.
that with the movies and people being more into superheroes and stuff like that right now I feel like it's the moment to push harder for him, for Static, for Vigil. Like it right now it's like, okay, they did that, but now it's kind of like let's push for him. We want, demand more that, hey, we want this character, we want to see this character, because that's the only way they're gonna listen to us, like and if
Hey,
we keep
money talks, though. Money talks at the end
pushing.
of the day. So
Yeah, but see now, like right now, if you notice, like, I don't know if I'm gonna sound weird, but if you notice, like right now, like, you know minorities are like doing really good.
Mhm.
Asian music, Spanish music, like all the, like now, like they want all those characters more than minorities. They want, because they're gonna make them money, because now all of us, we want to see that. So I feel that right now it's the time for us to push to see that, to see them. This guy, I don't really know his music, and then I feel like an old lady be like annoying. It's like that funny that I didn't even know what that was for a while. So it's like, oh, he's a singer, and I was like, I don't like his music. But now I'm like, you know what? Like he was one of the highest Spanish singer, and
Mhm.
because of that, they're adding him to movies because of how popular he is. And all those young girls are gonna go and watch, that Netflix movie that he was on, because on it. So now, if I just feel like if we push now and post more, be like, we want this character, we want him to see represent, our community.
Well, the community is spoken, and you see the value of the Static books. I mean, Static 9/8 selling for $1,000. Like that's the power of the community. Like if we say that this is something, it's going to be something, and that's just the way it is. A lot of energy around Static back in right during COVID is really where you started seeing people like go and start reading books. They were locked up and they were like, you know what? This book is a thing. How come nobody talks about this book? And then they get on a YouTube show and they talk about the book and they share the story. And somebody else goes, you know what? I want to read that. And that's how the genesis of how this thing really just started blowing up. And then with the documentary of Milestone, people are going, you know what? I never really gave it the attention that it probably should have gotten. And they go back and this was cool, like, and then that's where then you got the Michael B. Jordan thing going, and then it just mushroomed back in 2021. It just really, and so now, like, if you want a solid 9/8 copy, I mean the prices have dipped a little, but that one with the sunglasses, like a 9/8 copy is going for $1,000. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a strong number. A 9/8 book, a strong number. So
all right, let's keep going. You guys, this is fantastic. I cannot tell you how much I am enjoying this show. Yeah, all right, let's keep going. Lucy, this was actually your pick, and this came out in
Yes,
2021, right in like the time where you would think there'd be more support
yes,
here.
and it's crazy. I didn't even know it came out. Where's, like, the push and all this? Like, I wish that you know I would have known more. Like, actually, one the one of the covers, it was the black and white one. I think it was what, 1 out of 50 maybe. I'm
It
not
was a
sure.
lunar distributor thank you variant. It was done by Olivia Copiel.
Cartel.
Copiel.
Beautiful
Thank you.
cover, and yeah, it was a cover for a while, right? In this static, this is what Chris recommended me to read, because I was like, where do I start? I don't know where to start. And in Chris Custom Slabs, he recommended me. He said, static, season 1, the return, milestone return. It's reintroducing the character. And you know how we were talking. Sorry, my baby's over here because daddy's playing the VR, and she's, yeah. So you know how you guys were saying, like, about previews, how they are important. Because I was reading this and I was like, I'm missing something. I don't know what. Like, how did it he does explain like what it happened and stuff like that, but I guess there was a preview, a few different stories before this one, and they do talk about it, what happened. And but I love but I love the story. Like, and I wanted, this is the one that I wanted to read more. I wanted to know more. I love the family, how they sit down, how it did affected him, like him changing to being static, how it affected his dynamic with his family. That kind of, I was like, oh, it kind of got me a little bit. I was like, first, like, being the 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 family eating together, laughing, making jokes, and making fun of like how the sister will cook and mama's dinner's way better. Uh, and even seeing how the next, like, after what happened with him, how it affected him, in like the difference, and even the sister being worried, about her brother. And I just love this. Like, I really really love this, and if you haven't, pick it up.
Tamiko, you want to add to that?
Well,
Sorry,
it's okay. I love it when people love something and you're able to express it and let people know that you actually love it. So these season 1 books, these are a reimagining of the original Milestone series in 1993, because they changed a few things around. They wanted to make it a little bit flashier and a little bit more relevant, even though Milestone was really relevant back then. And those
Like what Joe
stories
was saying.
still hold up.
Mm.
So they changed it around a little bit for the new generation coming in. And this was announced pretty much after the documentary, after the original Milestone owners settled with Dwayne McDuffie's widow, because she was the one kind of holding up things for a little bit. But once they ironed everything out with her, and they was able to restart this whole thing, Reginald Hudlin, the Dennis Cowan, a whole lot of people, Nicholas Draper Ivy, he's did the most of the variant covers. And of course, I'm a B girl when it comes to DC Comics cover Bs. They're fire.
Is that orange one a cover B?
No, that orange one is a variant cover. That's the Dennis Cowan's reimagining of the original static cover.
Do you have that, Laura? Can you blow that picture up? Because I think that one is awesome.
Give me a second. You guys keep talking. I'll find.
So tell us more, Tamika.
Well, again, this is a mini series. So season 1, I think six issues. So this was a reimagining of the original Milestone series. And of course, the artwork, the covers. I preach about staying within your budget, on the Black Comic Lords, because we can't take you in if you decide to buy every cover. Because each cover it seemed like it was better than the one before. And I'm usually not one for buying several copies of one comic book, but the cover, I couldn't deny it. So I have several copies of the several variant covers of the same comic.
They are fantastic. All of those covers are amazing. They look really good. So I
Okay,
can't
so
imagine. It must be
I'm
really
gonna go.
expensive.
I'm gonna buy that. That's badass.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
the
Devin
line works
Cowan-
pretty
Devin
thick here, huh?
Cowan did that one.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you, how many copies did you get on number 1? Because each cover is freaking amazing.
See, notice what they did with the hat, though.
The
You know,
hat.
because you remember when Malcolm X came out, like, and they put a Malcolm X hat on the original one, like they did the hoodie to cover up the hat. Come on, leave the hat the way it is, man.
That's true. I didn't notice. That's true that they covered.
I would never have noticed that, Joe.
I mean, I knew that I saw that it was different, but I didn't realize that the hoodie, like, it's kind of like it turns into his
Mhm.
hat.
Mhm.
But all the covers are really nice. I really like all of them. And what I like about this one's only 6 issues, right?
Mhm.
I kind of like that because after 5, when it's more than 6 issues, I kind of like forget that I'm reading or I lose interest. Like, so I like it, but yeah, I hope they keep bringing them with different stories and kind of like keep them like that, but then bringing more, you know.
It's selling for
Not to
$1 right
forget
now,
about
guys. There's no reason not to snag
So,
this. A
I need to
9.8
buy
going
this
for
one.
$50. That's like that's
This
nothing.
crazy.
Mhm.
But the
Cynthia.
ratios are going to cost a little bit more.
Oh
Wait,
man.
what? After the
The
show?
ratios will cost a little bit more.
I mean,
Now,
I
cover
Yeah.
A,
Well, let's see. The raws on the bottom, I can't tell because it's too small. Wait, what do you have there?
this one is the cover B by Nicholas Draper Ivy. So
Nice.
I'm going to pretty much start a Nicholas Draper Ivy fan
Oh,
club.
I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful cover, man. Holy shit, that's
Wow.
badass.
Yeah, his art's amazing.
and-
What else you got? Keep
there was
going. Keep
something-
going.
Yeah,
Yeah, what else do you
show
have?
more,
Yeah,
I
seriously.
know.
You're on the big
Okay.
screen. You might as well show us.
Oh, there you go,
Yeah,
Cynthia's
over there.
pick.
I chose that one.
Yeah.
This is
Yep.
the
Akira
number 4
homage.
of season 1, the Akira homage cover. Nicholas Draper Ivy. Everybody had to have one of these because any nerd worth their salt, of course, have seen Akira. Again, that's why I almost busted my budget because I just looked at it and I said I have to have all of the variants.
Mhm.
Well, that's a perfect segue too, Tamika, because here we go. Cynthia chose this, so you and her must be like kindred spirits. Tell us about it, Cynthia.
All right, so I chose this one because it's the homage to Akira. So, and definitely got to show love for the anime that kind of started it all. And Nicholas Draper, he's a huge anime fan, and in this series, you can actually see that through his artwork. It was a huge influence to this entire series. So yeah, he wanted to pay tribute to Akira because when he was young and into anime, his dad is what got him to watch Akira because he was like, all right, you have to see this. And he watched it, he fell in love with it, and he wanted to pay homage. So he was riding his bike one day, and that's when he started focusing and noticed the cracks on the wall on the road, and he saw a manhole cover, and he decided that that's what was gonna kind of inspire this cover here. So with the manhole cover, we've got the Milestone logo on it, and you've got Virgil Static wearing the costume that was actually from the animated series. It's not the new costume that was introduced in book number 3 of this series.
Wow.
So that was a nice little tribute as well. But yeah, like this entire series, if you haven't read Static, definitely read this series for sure. This has been nothing but a page turner for me. It's been like I deep dove into this. It all started off with, this one, modern day issues. We got police brutality. We've got a protest that went south and they gassed a bunch of kids, and that's where they got their abilities from and called them the bang babies,
God,
so
yes,
it
the
just,
pink babies.
yeah, the bang babies. So now you got a government agency going around collecting up kids, and you got Virgil here this particular one that I chose, I picked because in this one, it brings out the strong family values where Virgil finds out he not only has support, a good support system from his family, but he's also got it from his friends.
Yeah.
And in this one as well, you get a rematch against Hot Streak, which is a pretty killer freaking scene. And it's a pretty gnarly little duke out session. So yeah, I really love this. And I still have to read 5 and 6, but it's going to happen.
Same.
I'm gonna
Hey,
do a share.
can I ask you? Can I say
ahead.
something, Laura?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why do we got the Death Star overhead in the sky, like trying to steal our information from the United States? They're allowing that balloon
Oh
up in the
God,
air.
the
How come we
Chinese
haven't shot
balloon?
that shit down, man?
I don't know.
It looks like the damn Death Star, right?
It looks like a balloon. There's the original.
I'm just saying.
There was no segue there, Joe.
I'm just saying. It just dawned on me like they didn't want to shoot it down because they were afraid people were going to get hurt. But then the guy says, "Well, it's up in like 60,000 miles up in the air or whatever. That there's no chance anybody can get hurt." Well, then shoot it down.
I think everybody on this panel agrees with you. Shoot it down.
It probably released. They probably got like another virus up in that balloon, man, and drop it all over.
Don't make me paranoid, Joe. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
Right?
No, I'm serious. I'll lay in bed and just think about it. And now
it's a whole shitload of mosquitoes in there, right? They just.
I think
today on Joe's conspiracy theories,
it'll be technical warfare, right? They'll take out our internet or something.
Oh yeah, that'll mess us all up, man.
The interwebs. Oh no.
Can you imagine none of us having electricity? It'd be like a shit show. Tamiko, coming up, if people want to support this character, and Guy McLeod has been like jonesing for this. Here we go. What's coming up?
All right. What's coming up this month? Static, Shadows of Dakota. Okay. This series is written by Vita Ayala and Nicholas Draper Ivey. And Nicholas Draper Ivey is also putting in the artwork. So if you loved his covers, you know this is going to be fire. This is going to be fire.
Yeah.
And here for the blurb, Static is back. Though Virgil and his friends might have been able to stop the government's off-the-book prison operations in Dakota, a powerful new threat lurks in the shadows.
Mysterious.
So,
good, man.
What you definitely should do, okay, you should pre-order. You go run right to your comic shop, put it on your pull list. Pre-order is the best way to show these people that we want more stuff like this, to show them that we want more. Give us more of these. Give us more of these. Because we interviewed Dr. Eve Ewing on the Black Comic Lords YouTube. She writes Ironheart, Photon, and she's writing Black Panther. So she gave us a good education on how the comic book industry is very different from the book industry, because she's also a very prolific author. So you want this book, you want these ratios without paying rent money, pre-order.
It's pay with the rent money. I love it.
The art looks very, very good.
Yes, definitely want this
that number one cover is badass.
I love it. Yeah,
and that's a B cover, so you know that was the first one I snatched as soon as I saw it come up on my previews.
There you go, people. This is you can turn this around. Pre-order now, so they can see that the sales that they're doing good, so they can keep bringing more Static.
But you notice his like hoodie has got like the bill of the cap right there. See, so now I'm digging that other cover even more now. Like it's a part of the uniform. I like that, man.
Kind of works. It works.
Yeah, it does work. Hell yeah.
Very good. Anything to add, Cynthia, on this one?
I mean, I'm definitely gonna look into picking them up because first off, Tamika, yeah, you're correct. Nicholas Doyle art is not Doyle. Wow,
Draper Ivy.
Draper Ivy.
His art is amazing. Like I'm a big fan of art. That generally is what drives me to my comics. And yeah, the art of these books, I love it. It's like chef's kiss. Love it. So yeah, I'm even if it's just the art alone, I'm definitely looking into these. But you know, the writing with these, they're doing him justice. Like this has been a page turner. I'm in love.
I think that the lighting that he uses it reminds me of Raza. Like when I think
Yeah.
like really good use of light, I think Raza. But then like I think Nicholas is holding his own in that regard. He's able to use the light
Yeah.
strategically and to make the whole thing pop. It's pretty
Right.
badass.
And it's not like over the top. He's using just enough to make it look good. Like I've seen some to where it's like it blows it out and you're like, oh, what's going on here? But he uses just enough to make it look good.
Amen to that. All right. Lucy, anything to add?
No, just make sure to pre-order. Somebody said that cut off before final order cut off. So maybe pre-order now if you can. Tomorrow morning, go to your comic book store, call them, and tell them to add it to your pool. Or if you buy from comic at Bird City Comics, ask them if they're gonna have it. I don't know.
Get it in before
All right.
everything. That's how you don't end up paying rent money. I'm gonna take that from you, Tamiko. That's gonna be my new thing. I'm stealing it from you.
You can have.
Guys, if you are new to us, every week we like to end the show on a Vana of the week. It's just a quote or a meme that we think kind of encompasses the show. Tamiko, as our guest, would you mind reading this one?
It's okay to feel angry, Virgil. It's what we do with that anger that's important. And of course, you have one of my favorite Green Lanterns, John Stewart.
Yay, I did good. I wasn't sure what you would want, so I had to I was thinking about it all day, and I'm like, okay, let's find something that fits. But yeah, what do you think of that quote?
But it is very important because, as you can see in the world today, emotions, and especially anger, it seems to give people the say-so to do ridiculous and horrid things. And, and of course, let me step on my feminist soapbox for a minute.
Please do.
Okay. I am so tired of folks talking about women are the more emotional of the two genders because we don't go around killing folks when we get upset.
We don't what?
Go around unaliving people. I'm sorry.
Unaliving people.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I'll put it to you like that. So anger is very important and it's okay, but it's how you express it and it's what you do with it that determines what goes on afterwards.
Well said. I mean, it's Black History Month too, so let's talk a little. I mean, Martin Luther King. That's there's the message there that you got to take that. If you are angry, fine, but put it into something that's productive. To put it into something that's actually going to make a difference instead of just landing your ass in jail or whatever.
Well, sometimes trying to do the right thing will land you in jail. Then
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Joe, I can tell you have something to say.
Sometimes people need their ass kicked, though. You know what I mean? So sometimes they deserve it, but that's not the message we're sending today.
That's not.
So
not today. Not today.
You use anger for doing something constructive and kill them with kindness. I say,
Yeah, well said. Well, there you go.
Vote for Joe.
Cannot wait for your podcast, Joe. I'm telling you.
Oh no. Come on.
Guys, if you are just tuning in for the first time or if you've been here for a while, remember our schedule for the week. We have Cover Lovers on Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Tuesday is Comic Book Women. This week, I believe we are covering Supergirl. So if you are a fan, tune in for that so we can kind of give you the rundown on that character. Wednesday's Mondo Mail Call. Thursday, Long Story Short. Awesome show about ghosts and hard to find books. Nearing Nirvana was tonight. And then tomorrow morning, if you're up bright and early, we have the Saturday morning toy box. Again, thank you to Cover Price, our sponsors. Use code Nirvana14 for 30 days unlimited membership for only 99 cents. And Bird City Comics. If you guys were able to grab the Ice Cream Man 35, the Nintendo Power #1 homage, congratulations to you because it is sold out. However, caveat, we have more coming. That's all I'm going to say.
Download the app.
Hey,
Download
can I
the
say
app.
something, Laura?
Please
Like if
do.
you're ordering something from Bird City and they sell out and you didn't get the book, don't send ugly messages to Laura
don't.
and Aunt
Please
because I'm gonna find out and then
It's
I'm
not
gonna
cool.
come after you.
Oh snap! Do you see what you do with anger?
Threaten people. No, I always come
I'm
on
not gonna
Friday.
hurt you, but I'm gonna make your life a little interesting. You
Dun,
know,
dun, dun.
like,
Make him
like
apologize.
I'll say some mean things too. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Joe. No, today's been good. There hasn't been any like craziness today. It's been tame. So, but now you guys heard him. And Joe, is there anything else you want to tell anybody about what you have coming up?
So in a couple of weeks, I'm putting together a podcast just to talk about comic pressing and some tips that'll help you keep your books in good shape and just kind of some of the best practices I use when I'm archiving books and how to spot a 9/8 candidate, and when you're buying comic books, how to spot a book where you're going to get a book in the possible best shape, because a lot of the books that come in, you got to look for certain things, look at the back of the book, make sure there's no ticks, and just just and just kind of roundtable stuff and make fun of people and talk shit.
I can't wait. I'm excited to hear it. I think that'll be great. So guys, if you're not already, follow Joe at Red Hood Comic, best presser there is out there.
And Laura's going to be our first guest.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'll be on. I know a couple things about finding 9/8 because people give me so much shit. They're like, I got my book and it's a 9/6. It's like, well, yeah.
Okay, you're on. You're invited.
It happens. All right, I'm there. Tamiko, you're last. So we'll go to Lucy next. Anything coming up?
Oh, me? Well, just watch us here on Tuesday, Comic Book Woman, and then Fridays, Near Nirvana. Make sure you guys are following us on our Instagram, Near Nirvana Instagram. And yeah, I think that's it. Cynthia.
Tamiko, I was an OG comic woman until I got kicked out by the other girls.
I'm officially re-inviting you.
It kind of felt like real world. It kind of felt like real world. We don't want Joe in the apartment. Get him out of here.
You're reinstated. I expect you to be there on Tuesday. You are reinstated to Comic Book Women.
All the girls got jealous, man.
Yeah,
girls, Laura.
You see,
he was being ecstatic to our Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, so we had to let him go. We're like, sorry, you're bringing too much attention to yourself, and you're getting too popular, and we don't like it. So we picked him.
I was an OG comic woman right here, bro.
Yes, you were.
Actually, it was Anthony. I'm just saying.
Nah. You can't be married to the that don't count. That don't count. I was an outsider. I climbed my way to the top, and it took it away.
Cynthia's been on Comic Woman now too, so she might just take your spot as well.
Yeah, everybody took my spot, man.
I have to duke it out.
Anything coming up, Cynthia, that you want to talk about?
I don't have anything as of right now, but hey, follow all these beautiful people because they're awesome. So
and follow you at
like
Cynthia or Lady _International. Yeah,
find me on the IG.
There you go. And last but not least, our incredible guests. Like I know that we've only scratched the surface, so we're going to have you back over and over and over again.
No,
there's something you want to talk about. Let us know.
Now's the time.
Okay, I'll definitely come back. I had fun over here. I had fun with y'all tonight.
Thanks.
Okay, you can find me at Black Comic Lords YouTube page. We have our website, blackcomiclords.net, where you can learn all about Black comics and which ones you should get, which ones you should dive into. We also have a Ladies Live. So our next Ladies Live will be in March, and we will be talking all things Nubia. So for that. And you can find me on the interwebs at BCL Star Dancer Supreme.
Nice.
Dancer
Yeah.
Supreme.
And so the woman, the girls, is it? Wait, I already forgot. Sorry.
Ladies Live.
Ladies Live. There you go. I can find that on YouTube, right?
Yep. Black Comic Lord's YouTube page.
So give them a sub, guys. If you haven't already, please sub this page. They are a friend of the channel and their content. Obviously, if Tamiko's even a slight representation of what that channel is like, you need to join. You need to sub it up and you need to be a part of it because they put out some good shit. All right, that's it for us tonight. Have a great weekend and we will see you guys. The girls and I will see you on Tuesday. Otherwise, have a safe weekend and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.